Mauritius Commercial Bank, we've got a long history in Mauritius. We are a bank with 180 years of history, and we have known various levels of development. And if you look at the past 30 years, where we've transited from a monocrop economy into today a full-fledged economy based on a number of active sectors like the textile sector, the tourism sector, the financial services sector. So I think it's been like a natural progression for Mauritius to try and diversify its economy, and MCB has played a vital role in that, because at the very beginning of the diversification, we've been very present in all these different sectors, because we believe that Mauritius needs the diversification, needs to open up, needs to be more open to the outside world, more integrated with Africa. So that's the reason why government and private sector, and obviously we forming part of the private sector, have been quite keen to make sure that we develop those key pillars of the economy. And the financial services, which is the pillar which we've been very active in, has been developed for the past 15 years now, based on certain advantage, let's call it that way, in terms of treaties we had with India. But since then, it's been a model that has developed very much into a full-fledged financial center, which is actually a base where companies on the continent can set up their base in Mauritius and benefit from the skill set, and also benefit from all the services that the financial center can offer, like treasury management, fund management. So I think it's part of the whole story of Mauritius evolving, and MCB playing a very active part in that evolution.
Right. It goes without saying that the financial services industry has grown tremendously for the past at least 20 years. And we've seen countries in Africa that have been on the forefront of that. Of course, Kenya taking the lead of the pack, but also seeing so many difficulties there with a rating cap and lending to the small and medium enterprises in the country. I want you to give me a look into what Mauritius is currently doing. What does the monetary policy looks like, and how enabling is the environment for growth on SMEs?
Well, specifically on SMEs, I think it's been the priority of our bank to support SMEs on the local front, because we, as I said in the beginning, we've been quite entrepreneurial in the way we've diversified the economy, and many of those companies were small companies when they started off. So in line with government policy of supporting SMEs, and there are 125,000 of them in Mauritius, which is quite a lot out of a population of 1.2 million people. I think it's given us the focus to try and see how we can help enable those small enterprises to do more business. I think when we talk about SMEs for a bank, we always talk about the financing part, which is inevitable, because a lot of them, they don't have necessarily the necessary finance to start off with. But we've been very close to them in terms of trying to see how we can help them in addition to the financing we give. So we've been very supportive in terms of how we accompany those small enterprises. Obviously, it's a relatively riskier area, right. But so far I believe we've had quite a good balance between the risk and the return, right. Because at the end of the day, let's not forget that if we don't have those SMEs, we won't have the bigger enterprises today. So I think on a longer term basis, it does make sense to support those small to medium enterprises.
Right. It goes without saying that, of course, there is a very interesting rise in the need for banking in the world, but Africa still lags behind on the case of inclusive banking, right? And the numbers could speak for themselves without even going to reiterate how much low it is currently. But speak to me from a technology perspective. How do we see this supporting banking the unbanked on the continent?
Yeah. In fact, technology is disrupting the whole world and enabling a lot of activities which couldn't be done before, and banking is one of them. In Mauritius, we haven't known that because people are highly banked. We are at the same level as any European country with 95% of banked population. But if from outside looking into the African continent, there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of optimism that technology will help to get more people into the banking world. I know it's today it's very much very basic activities with mobile wallet,
right,
which is already the highest in the world with I think 125 million mobile wallet. But that's the beginning of the story, because once people are onto the mobile wallet, which is the basic form of banking, the next step up will be more sophisticated banking. So they'll probably then migrate to having a full-fledged account, and which will be run on the smartphone. We know we've got like 300 million smartphone connection in Africa.
Right.
So there's a big opportunity to bank the African population in a stepped manner. And I think with the mobile wallet, which has been a success in many economies, especially with the mobile operators playing a very key role. And I'm quite hopeful that the next level up, banks will be more involved. So that's why we need that collaboration.
Right.
And the collaboration between MNOs and banks will need to happen at some point.